What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Andy the Nomad. I'm back with another video, and today we're going to talk about America once again. So, one of my previous videos, I talked about how Americans are the most stressed out people in the world, which is true, and or at least they're in the top 10, top 5 most stressful countries on the planet. But today we're going to talk about a little bit more different. Now, what is America known for, right? America is known for, um, freedom, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of expression, the pursuit of happiness, right? It's in the Constitution. It's the American Constitution that the founding fathers of America wrote, right? We have all these freedoms. But then when you come to America, you realize that sometimes people will attack you for expressing these so-called freedoms. And even the government is now attacking people for these so-called freedoms. So much so that during the pandemic, right, the plandemic, I call it, the government teamed up with online social medias like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And some of that power has been stripped away from them. Like when Elon Musk bought Twitter, we now Twitter is actually a freedom platform, right? You can say whatever you want on Twitter, for the most part. So, in America, despite of the fact that we do have freedom of speech written in our Constitution, Americans themselves don't really believe in freedom of speech. They believe that they have the right to say whatever they want, but if somebody disagrees with them, that person does not have the right to say whatever they want. See, it's like I don't know what you call it. I don't know if it's called the main character syndrome, narcissism, selfishness. Call it whatever you want. Call it what you will. It doesn't matter what you call it. But in America, people believe that the only freedom of speech available is themselves. Like it really depends on what political party you're part of, or how which way you lean politically, left or right, but in this is what I will say is that people on the political right in America, they don't attack anybody for other people's opinion, for the most part. They people on the right still do censor people, not as much as people on the left, but they do censor people. It's just that we don't really see it because the people on the right, the conservatives, they're actually more open to hearing other people's opinion than people on the left. But people on the left, they are the ones that that like to censor others, anybody who disagrees with them. It's really like well, I don't want to say the type of mentality that is, or because then YouTube is gonna come after me. But the point is that it's not. It's more common with the political left in America, but you will see even people on the right in America. They don't want to hear it, man. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear your opinion. Like, yeah, you can say whatever you want in America, but people don't actually believe in freedom of speech. You know what I mean? And it's just sad, they don't want to hear other people's opinions. Okay, they just want to stick to whatever it is that they want to believe in, right? Whether if you're part of the rainbow community, the LGBT, progressive, liberal, conservative, Republican, right? They don't really want to believe. They don't really want to listen to anybody except themselves and people who think like them. There was a time in America where Americans were open. Americans were more academic. They were more intellectual. They were more open to hearing other people's opinion and exchanging ideas. And some people who might get a little offended, but we were not pushovers. We were not mentally pushovers like before. We weren't this sensitive. Americans nowadays are so sensitive that you you really have to, when you're trying to talk to a serious subject, it's like you're walking on eggshells. But back then, man, Americans were open to hearing other people's opinion. They wanted to hear your opinion, right? And Americans were, th- they were more intellectual. They they valued they really value freedom of speech, um, freedom of expression. And for the most part, somebody might criticize you. You get criticized for your opinion, but they will still hear you out. They will still, accept you as who you are, so long as you follow the law, right? Americans are reasonable, but now that shit is over. And I think within the next 10 years, we're gonna see more laws where, like, they're probably going to try to remove freedom of speech from the Constitution. I think this is probably going to happen. Freedom of religion probably going to be removed. Freedom of expression, that's going to be modified, because freedom of speech has been under attack since the 2010s. I mean, I was there since the Obama administration, and I'm trying not to be so political here, but because we're talking about freedom of speech, which is a strong, deep-seated American value, we kind of have to talk about politics a little bit. So this makes it difficult to socialize in America because everyone is so different. You see, America, this is home of the brave, land of the free, where you can come here and live the American dream, right? But the problem is that everybody is so different. You see, when you go to other countries like Mexico, you go to Russia, you go to Japan, China, you go to any country in Latin America, you go to France, you meet French people. Well, that's changing. Europe is changing. But you go to other countries, you mostly meet people of other ethnicities, and that group of people have an identity. They have their own culture, their own beliefs, their own everything, right? They have their own set of values in that country. In America, because America, takes in so much immigration, what happens is that there's so many different people. You got the African Americans, white Americans, Latin Americans, Asian Americans, Hindu Americans, the Arabian American. You have all of these types of people in one place, and everybody wants to, have their own freedom of speech. Everybody is fighting for their own freedom of speech. So it's like everybody's so different, not just by ethnicity, but then people are very different by thought. There's so many beliefs that collide, and because nobody wants to accept other people's beliefs and way of life, there's a war. There's always this like this mental war going on, right? So if you want to make friends in America, you literally have to stay in your own echo chamber. If you're a conservative, you have to spend time with other conservatives, join conservative groups, hang out with conservatives, and then you'll make friends. But as soon as you step out of that echo chamber, you try to share your ideas with other groups of people, you get attacked, and they don't want to hang out with you, and they'll separate themselves from you. This has happened to me many, 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 many times. Okay, you vote for a certain person, you lose your friends, your family members. You might, and then you probably get some new friends. You probably get some new friends, by voting a certain way, right? You get support from another side. So it's so divided. America is divided within the country. And nobody really talks about it, but it's true. America is very, very divided. And there are certain things that do unite people. Like, for example, in economic times, when the prices are high, grocery prices and gas prices are high, people step up and they complain about it and they join forces. But, there's a reason why here in many neighborhoods in America, people don't talk to each other. I've lived in multiple neighborhoods here in America, and I can tell you, people don't talk to each other. I can't remember the last time where I had some type of support from my neighbor, or I sat down and chatted with my neighbor. I mean, I recently moved. Last year, I moved to a new location, and in the neighborhood, I haven't made any friends in this neighborhood. I mean, I've talked to people, chatted with them. Well, not really chat. I just say hi and just kind of like be on my way. But I don't talk to my neighbors. We say hi and then just keep going, and that's it. In America, it seems like the only friends that you do make are the ones that you grew up with, like you went to high school or college with. You continue to be friends with those people, right? But then once you get older, if you move to a new neighborhood, you're not gonna make any friends. In Americans are so paranoid amongst each other, and it's not just because of ethnicity. Yeah, but Americans are paranoid because everybody wants to stick to their own group. White people want to hang out with white people, black people want to hang out with white people, Chinese with Chinese, Mexican with Mexicans. But then they're not just paranoid about other groups of people, they're also paranoid about what those people believe, right? Like, what like, does that person have different political opinions than I do? I mean, I'm telling you, I have literally decided that I don't want to date a certain group of people because I have very strong beliefs about their movement here in America that was causing destruction during the pandemic. I have strong opinions about that. And then these certain groups of people, whenever I share my ideas with them, they hate me. They hate me. So I say, okay, I guess I'm not going to date that group of people or women from that group of people because we're never going to see eye to eye. We're never going to agree on anything. So I'll just keep my opinions to myself. What else am I supposed to do, What else am I supposed to do? And this is why, a lot of Americans, they don't really believe in freedom of speech. You understand what I mean? They don't really believe in freedom of speech. They only believe in they believe that they should say what they want, but they don't believe that other people should say what they want. And America is just too diverse. There's no, like, we're getting to a point where, like, many people just don't have commonality, like there's just so much infighting that we're kind of losing ourselves, man. Everybody just sticks to their own group. But anyways, let me know what you think about this, guys. Let me know what you think about the American way. Do you live in America? Do you not live in America? Comment below, like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video. It's your boy Andy the Nomad. Godspeed.